very, very eye-opening special talking points today. And I really want as many Ambazonians as possible. For those who are not anywhere in Africa, who cannot watch it on TV, please hit your share button. Get them to this platform. I want as many Ambazonians as possible to listen to this talking point. So please hit your share button. Okay, I will also be talking, of course, about the ghost town, the ghost towns of today. I learned it was powerful and wonderful all over Amazonia. The enablers, the detractors, they sell out there, going for leaders, failed, ladies and gentlemen, to stop us today. Thank you, Ground Zero. I'll be coming to that later on. But please hit your share button. Of course, I can't forget about the draft. The draft is ongoing, and the draft proper will be coming up one of these days. So I will also make a comment about Ma Ngang, who was recently indicted by the Attorney General, I guess, of Maryland. So I'm going to be making a comment on that before the end of this show. And if time permits, I'm going to be opening the phone lines to take a few calls from all of you out there on Ground Zero and in the diaspora. Of course, my panel of three powerful men of Amazonia is with me. So please, you go ahead, you quickly hit that share button. Listen, I'm not waiting for 700 people. I am waiting for 800, ladies and gentlemen, 800 before I bring you this presentation. Let me continue to do something I haven't done for a long time. Until you give me 800 people, I want you to hit that share button. We must hit 1,500 people, 1,500 people in this broadcast here on Facebook. So please, as you join, do that. I see Groundworks. Groundworks there. I see also Abasinjon Adiginjin or something like that. I see he is one of those detractors, enablers here. I see Mediki Dennis. Thank you for joining, sir. I also see Jean Mbako. Thank you for joining, sir. I see Bebe Martin. Say, victory is ours. Abuno Akwe. The march to Boya is unstoppable. Sammy Brown, sir. Thank you for joining. O'Rourke Watson, Anchorman. You are welcome. I appreciate that, sir. Abdul Maikano. Hi, Secretary Chris. You are doing an amicable job. I appreciate the compliments, sir. God bless you. Tilo Brown. Hi, Secretary Chris. Watching from Ground Zero. Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Who else? I see here Groundworks Actions. Thanks, sir, for your encouragement, I guess so. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Chris Santos in Choti, he said draft. Wonderful. Thank you. Don Philo, joining from Asia. Ajako Joe, London. Good day, our communication minister. Thank you, sir. Akwaya LGA, always here. I see you all the time. I see also Kobe Jacqueline. So, wow. All right, thank you. I see also Calcio D Room, Secretary Chris. Our data for 100 francs will get finished before proper news flash. Why are you on Ground Zero and you have to watch on your telephone, please? You should get it on your television and don't have to worry about data. This is television. Please, I am waiting for about 60 people before I start this because I need 800. So if you are joining, please go ahead and hit that share button. Hit that share button. I know Ground Zero is waiting, and sometimes they are mad with me when I come late and I don't start. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to do this. Take Calvin. I see you. Thank you for joining. Johnson Etongwe, our able secretary. Thank you, sir. I see you. El Chapo, I see you, sir. I see you. Nzale Clovis, the Honorable Secretary, we are here. All right. Thank you, sir. Ambazonia Israel, I think I mentioned that before. Godigo, hey, Secretary Chris. I missed greetings, okay. Thank you, sir. Aga Austin, watching from Germany, the man of the revolution. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, again, I need you to hit that share button. And while you do so, let me remind every one of you watching and listening to the sound of my voice about this year's 2021 Amber World Draft. Amber World Draft. Of course, I have to come here every day and mention Amber World Draft because without that, this war would be over. This struggle would be over. La République du Cameroon would be dancing to every nook and corner of Ambazonia and reclaiming what they haven't claimed yet, ladies and gentlemen. So please, these drafts are very, very critical to continue to make sure that the boys, the fighters who are standing for Ambazonia with their lives on ground zero can continue to do so. And they must continue to do so. So please do not wait until the draft for your LGA or county is announced. You just need to call the leaders of your county. And I really want to believe that the leaders of these counties are doing their jobs, reaching out to their indigents and soliciting for this draft. So please, I want to believe you all out there are reaching out. The county leaders, the LGA leaders, the financial teams from all of these counties. I want to believe again that you are reaching out to your population and soliciting for these drafts. What we are seeing on ground zero now, we can't let it to fall back. Again, we can't have it fall back because La République will celebrate. They will make a mockery of us. The time when they entered village to village and captured and killed our fighters, let that time be over. Let this be the era of our dominance over that damn country and their soldiers in our territory. We must begin to pick them one by one and destroy every form of armor that they bring into our territory. And if possible, ladies and gentlemen, take that ammunition as no PT is doing in Ngoketunjia and Bui. Take that ammunition and turn it back on them and devastate them. But your draft has to count. Your draft has to count. Nobody, I'm referring to every Ambazonian in the diaspora, nobody has any excuse not to draft. The time that people stood on the fence and said, Sako, Chris, I know, chief people, chief pastor, we can't give you our money. That time is over, ladies and gentlemen. It is over. You are seeing what you needed to see, what you asked for. If you can't defend your own county and your own local government, you are a traitor amongst us. Yes. And I really think, somebody was talking to me over the weekend, I really think every county and every LGA has to devise a means by which they keep the records of who is paying for this war. Because the time will come, we will need to know who paid for it. We don't want to get on ground zero and everybody becomes a hero. Not everybody will be a hero if you are not supporting this war. All right, I can't say this enough. So, ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm appealing to you. Look for your county. Reach out to your local government. Please honor your draft, $1,000 for this season. All right. Now we've gone over 800 already, and now of course I'm into the broadcast already. So that is it about the 2021 draft. Please do not wait until when the draft proper are launched for you to support your local government and support your county. Please begin to do so now. If you have the money now, Pay it now. If you don't know who to reach out to, call me. I will give you information as to who to reach out to in your county or local government. Please do not say you don't know where to pay or you don't know who to send the money to. Call me. You have my number on this screen. Every day I'm here. You call that number or leave a message there. I will return to you and give you the right information as to where to send your money, depending on what county you belong to. So please, let's do that. Now let me go to Guzang, ladies and gentlemen, before I bring to you my talking points for today. Let me get to Guzang here. Something is going on. Something is happening in Guzang that doesn't look good. Again, it doesn't look good. Let me say something before I bring you these images, ladies and gentlemen. This war was never meant to be about us against us, our people against our people. It was meant to be about us against La République du Cameroon. But a phenomenon has been going on ground zero, not just in Batibo or in Guzang, but Mezam, Fako, and many of our counties. Our own people are crying under the heavy weight. In fact, somebody's leg is standing on their neck, pressing them now down, and they know nothing to do about it. They know nothing. They don't know what to do about it. I am talking about these abductions and extortions and ransom takings, and of course the attacks on our own people by our own people. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I like to be blunt, very, very blunt here. All these attacks out there that sometimes people say is La République du Cameroon, is La République du Cameroon. They are not all from La République du Cameroon. We have evidence that what is happening inside parts of Mancon, in Queen, Bafut, Batibo, the horror, the abductions and ransom takings taking place in these localities. They are being committed by rogue soldiers supposedly fighting for this same struggle. And it gets really, really hard to handle when somebody, a group out there that's supposed to be fighting against La République du Cameroon, has turned around and all they do is fight against our own people. I am talking about what is going on in Guzang. Now take a look at these videos and I will come back to you.
This is Guzang you are seeing like this. This is Guzang market. Nobody lives in Guzang market. This market is made up of 22 villages. So they're not just punishing Guzang, but they're punishing the whole entire Mogamo, as you see. Look at the shop. People are only parking out, going out of Guzang. Where do you want the common man to go? Good morning. So you people should look at it and please inform us on what to do. Good morning. So you can see the shops, the shed, everything. You don't see anybody in Guzang. The whole place is locked. The shop now, people are now running closer to where they will see but the military. So that is that. Just parking out from the village. See, the people are just parking out from the village. They call restoration forces or amber forces, ADF, coming under the pretext that they're going to protect the common man. But today, just look at the village. Nobody's there. Nothing. This is an appraisal of what you can see. An eye view of Guzang. should we go for the military, or we'll go for the restoration forces, or we'll go for ADF?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, you heard that. You heard that. That is not coming from me. That is not coming from me. It is coming from the people on the ground, the people by themselves, identifying ADF as being behind the desertification of Batibo, Guzang precisely. That is Guzang as you see there. In this other image, ladies and gentlemen, you see the street. I think that should be the Bamenda, Manfe, through Guzang, Batibo, and so on. The town, that should be the Guzang market alone. Deserted. Deserted. Not because French Cameroon soldiers went after the people. No. But because the ADF went after the people, attacking the people, and the people now, they have resolved to pack out of the town. Where should they pack to? To La République du Cameroon? Where does the ADF, ladies and gentlemen, want these people to go to? Well, I am really sad to see what is happening in Guzang repeatedly from one particular group, And the saddest thing of all is that it just doesn't appear like we have AROFs and we have an LGA in that place called Guzang. What is happening? For how long do you allow the people to be tortured this way? Or you want all of them to pack out of the town before you do what? What is Mogamo waiting for? For everybody to pack out of the town before they do what? It is shameful that for all this while, raising all the money that you raise out there, you cannot take care of a small faction of rascals, tormenting the people, making life harder every day for the people out there. It's a shame. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But that is the situation there. We cannot have this happening, and we come over television and lament and call one particular group all the time when there are people, leaders in that county, in that LGA, who know exactly what to do. ADF tried this up in Bui. They were chased out. They were chased out. And they are nowhere to be found there. They have tried this in Libya. And now they have essentially made Guzang, Mogamo, LGA their home. They've not only made it their home, they have killed innocent people, shut down a whole power generating plant that powered the whole village. They shut it down, they burnt it, they killed chiefs, killed our own fighters. Nothing that has come out of Momo or Mogamo to stop this. It's a shame. And you are not even fighting La République. I don't see you waging a war in La République in Momo, except maybe a few areas like Ngi or Njikwa or something like that. The rest of the areas, I don't see anything happening there. What is going on in Momo? That these thugs will be chasing your own. It is better when La République chases them out, not these thugs hanging around you forever. Something has to be done. Stop crying like babies in Mogamo and do something. Ladies and gentlemen, having said that, I will take you to my monologue. And after the monologue, I will bring in my guests, my panelists for the day, and we'll move on from there. My apologies for raising my voice. I am really mad with what goes on in Mogamo in particular. And it just keep on going on. And one person, one little faction that should have been taken care of, as the we warriors did. They are not being taken care of. All right. Again, I am going to bring you my talking point for today. And I really play with you. Give me your ears. This is very, very illuminating. Very, very illuminating. So please continue to hit your share button. Continue to hit your share button as I bring to you the talking points for today. Fellow Amazonians, for as long as this war lingers and rages on, it remains incumbent upon the interim government to ceaselessly inform and educate you, particularly you on ground zero, when certain developments warrant it. We want you to remain equally aware that as long as the regime in Yaoundé continues to avoid genuine dialogue or negotiations that should lead to a permanent settlement to this conflict, every project or plan that they have implemented in our territory isn't meant to provide that genuine fix to the conflict. Rather, every move of theirs is meant to pacify the international community to the effect that they are doing something to bring the conflict to an end. I really hope we all get this. La République isn't interested in any solution that leads to justice and peace. All that they are bent on achieving is getting us back the way we left them in 2016. La République hasn't seen this conflict as between two equal states that came together. They are still trying to treat us as their subjects, their citizens. For them, it's all about one and indivisible Cameroon. This explains why they keep on thinking they are doing us a favor, giving us these half measures in special status, regional houses of chiefs, regional councillors, commission for bilingualism and multiculturalism, decentralization, and you can go on naming the rest, thinking that we are going to fall for it. Last week, a presidential decree from the almighty Paul Biya appointed a gentleman and a lady to positions they have described as regional conciliators. By these appointments, we are supposed to start jumping onto the streets and jubilating that finally the head of state has heard our cry and appointed our own leaders. These regional conciliators are supposed to be part of the solutions to this raging war. And don't be surprised that some regime apologists and sycophants will indeed start sending out motions of support to thank the head of state tomorrow for an accord for being so kind. The decree appointing these conciliators states that their role in the regional political protocol will be to resolve disagreements, listen to me, disagreements or disputes between individual members of any community and their councils, and all councils and their regions. However, it adds that this can only happen when or if 5 parliamentarians from that region endorse the petition or the case. The regional conciliators will report directly to the head of state. That is to say to us that, don't worry, the bureaucracy in governors' mansions has finally been shut down, and you, the common man, you can now easily channel your concerns to the head of state by way of the conciliators. This is the message they want you to believe and to go out celebrating. It is scam. The whole thing is meant to be a scam, ladies and gentlemen. Let me now explain to you exactly who a conciliator is and is not. Another name for a conciliator is peacemaker, an arbitrator, or a mediator, a referee, an arbiter, or a negotiator. Now, they want us to believe that these appointments come with some big authority, the kind that will tackle all of our grievances. No, they do not. They are empty. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is in them. Pure window dressing as usual. Regional conciliators wear absolutely no powers and have control over nothing. Zero. They are not any decision makers. And they have no say in the way regions, their regions as they call them, are administered. Nor do they have control over what happens in those regions. They are mere peacemakers, mediators, or call them negotiators. Their job is to listen to complaints and try to resolve them. So then, the big question is this: if their job description is limited to that of negotiating or fostering peace within the community, what is their place? What is their place in the context of an enduring solution to this war? What has making peace within people in the community got to do with a conflict or war between two countries, between two states? Please listen to the sound of my voice here. Of what use are regional conciliators appointed in the midst of war if their role has nothing to do with solutions to the war? Do regional conciliators solve the problem of annexation and colonization? That is the main beef we all have to grind with La République du Cameroon. Fellow Amazonians, La République du Cameroon has at this moment exhausted all that she planned to implement in their so-called special status. Within that context, they created regional councils. They created houses of chiefs, appointed regional councillors, and House of Chiefs members too. They have now appointed the regional lords of these structures, which they call conciliators. I have a question for everyone who listens to the sound of my voice out there. How has any of these been the solution to the concerns that have been raised by Ambazonians or Southern Cameroonians for the past decades? Please tell me, is there any one thing, and I really mean just one thing, in all of these changes that address the concerns for which our brothers and sisters and mothers and fathers have died, and whole towns and villages burned to ashes? Consider these, for example. Has the French language ceased from being the working language in the southern Cameroons? Have they withdrawn those French judges from our courtrooms? How about the French teachers in our classrooms? Are they not still with us, ladies and gentlemen? Also, think about it. Have all of these so-called reforms freed a single Ambazonian detainee from their gulags in Yaoundé, Douala, Bafoussam, etc.? Yet, anyone wants us to believe La République du Cameroon is working on solutions to the conflict in their special status? Ladies and gentlemen, consider us as still living in October 2016, which means not a single stone has been moved to find a solution by La République du Cameroon to this war. But we knew from day number one that special status was a high-sounding nothing. It was meant to save face and to avoid international mediation or intervention. It was meant to buy time and to get the world to believe that they are finally on some reforms. Special status is now fully implemented, and Southern Cameroonians still do not have the powers to choose who their mayors are. The DOs still have to be appointed from Yaoundé. The so-called city delegates will be appointed from Yaoundé. The governors are appointed from Yaoundé too, of course. The powerless regional conciliators are appointed from Yaoundé too. The presidents of the regional councils and the houses of chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, they are appointed from Yaoundé. The people's representatives are handpicked also from Yaoundé. The people still have absolutely no say over who leads or governs them. They have no say over their own local administration. Yaoundé must decide for them. Ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing, and I mean nothing, but fresh cronyism all over again. It gets our hands shackled stronger than ever before. Our slave status is made even worse in what La République has done since 2016 in the guise of solutions. Please give me your ears now. Give me your ears now. Let me reveal to you now what exactly people have not yet decoded, uncovered in these public conciliators' appointments. This is it. The message many people do not yet get is that in appointing regional mediators or conciliators for us, La République is saying that the problem is within us. They are saying that our problem has nothing to do with them. The fight or the war is within us. They are not the problem. Now, I guess you understand why the conciliators are appointed. Remember, they are appointed to solve problems, make peace, ladies and gentlemen, within us, not between they and us, but between us. Problems from people within councils and regions. Not us as in Ambazonia versus La République du Cameroon, us as in Ambazonia versus Ambazonian. Just ponder over this for a moment. Does negotiating peace between Momo and Mezam or between two landowners got anything to do with solutions to the conflict or this war? Or does it even have anything to do with La République du Cameroon? Of course not. If it were not the case, please tell me where you see conciliators appointed in any of the regions in La République du Cameroon. They are only appointed to Ambazonia as one of the special packages of the special status, isn't it? Let's shine our eyes. It's a fraud, and Yaoundé is really good at it. Tell me, which region in their territory has been appointed these conciliators? But they appoint them here in Ambazonia, hoping we are too dumb to not decode the whole sham. We are smarter than you, sirs. Everything you have done is dead on arrival. I am really hoping that sycophants like the Nick Nguayams, the Ngole, and the rest, and Anglophones like Agbo Bala, Dr. Munzu, we take to the media and begin to tell the world that special status was indeed a scam, a sham. I'm really waiting to hear their take on this conciliator's fraud of a thing. Fellow Ambazonians, we question their special status from the onset, and we equally question what powers they had to choose for us or to tell us what is good for us. But thank God, we patiently waited for its implementation. We have tolerantly watched Yaoundé implement this special status to the letter. Nothing they have done has touched on the root cause or causes of this conflict. What they have done has rather taken us way back to 50 years. The international community can now bear witness with us. We fight for a legitimate reason. We buy guns and watch a resistance against the Republic of Cameroon for a just cause. It should now be very, very clear, very, very clear to everyone who cares, especially in the international community, why independence for the southern Cameroons is the only logical end to this conflict. And right now, it is non-negotiable. For almost 5 years, the people in La République du Cameroun have demonstrated that they cannot live with us as equals. They have appointed everything for us by decree from Yaoundé, hoping we take it. What right do they have to appoint those who lead us? What right do they have to decide what happens or doesn't happen in our territory? What right do they have to decide who lives and doesn't live in Ambazonia, southern Cameroons? Fellow Ambazonians, it is independence or we all die fighting. Buckle your belts. If we live, let's live for something. But if we die, let's die fighting for something too. We now have a legitimate motivation to carry on this war to victory. We have a legitimate reason to give to those who say we ought to declare a ceasefire and lay down our arms. Never going to happen. And the reason is that we are dealing with an animal in La République du Cameroun, a regime that has no conscience. If indeed there is one, they won't be killing our people as they do every day. They will be offering genuine solutions or rushing to the dialogue table to negotiate an end to this. The times are difficult. The times are challenging. But fight, ladies and gentlemen. We must fight and we must win. It does no longer matter if it takes the next 10 or 20 years. There is only one end in sight: a free and independent southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. There are three things that should be rigorously intensified right now on ground zero. Number one, ghost towns must be intensified with violators severely penalized. Ghost towns must be observed without any excuse anywhere in Ambazonia. All Okada riders and taxi drivers should take particular note. Private car owners too should take note. No vehicles other than ambulance vehicles for medical reasons shall be allowed on the streets of Ambazonia on Mondays. All the highways in Ambazonia, talking about Tico Douala Road, Tico Victoria, Boya Kumba Road, Kumba Mamfe, Mamfe Bamenda, and all others shall remain locked down every ghost town day. Violators must be made to pay dearly. The second thing that must be intensified is the degree of firepower in every county and LGA. Counties and LGAs that are still slow in matching the fire with other counties should rise up and take the cue from Bui, from the BLM, from Goketunja, Manu, Fako, and others. There is no doubt, ladies and gentlemen, in that if we should bring down more and more La Republic military in their equipment especially, it will be left with no option but to agree to meet us at the negotiation table. Firepower in every county. Lastly, anything in Ambazonia that is still giving La Republic of Cameroon money remains a legitimate target. Not a single petrol tanker should be allowed to ferry oil from Victoria to Douala. No. I don't get it why timber still gets to Douala from Meme and Manu. I don't understand why bananas and rubber are still being shipped to Douala also. I don't understand why foodstuff still crosses the Mongo for the littoral. I don't understand why this their schools called PMEU and Cementcam and Brasseries, this other lottery company, I forget what they call it, PS or something like that, the French company. I don't know why they still do business in Ambazonia. The moment has come to completely liquidate them. They use strong hands on us. We use stronger hands on them too. And God be the judge. Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for staying put and listening. And that was my talking point for the day. I really hope that it made sense. It made sense, a lot of sense to you. I'm now being joined by three guests here. I'm joined by Prof. Ayim. It appears your camera is frozen, so you may have to log out and log back in using the same credentials. You are frozen. But let me get to Barrister John. It's a pleasure having you back, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Chris. Good afternoon. Thank you for having me once again.
All right. I am also joined, ladies and gentlemen, by Bishop John. Bishop John, you look good, sir. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. I'm happy to be here today with you, and greetings to my fellow Ambazonians.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Prof. Ayim, your camera is chopping on and off. Just hit the back button, log out, log back in using the same credentials. Let's make sure it is good. Okay. Let me start with Comrade Bishop. Comrade Bishop, you listened to my talking points there. I don't know if I said anything wrong there, but we have sat and watched La République du Cameroon implement what they called special status. And all that we see in this special status is scam. Special status, in their opinion, was meant to resolve this conflict. But of all that they have done, there is absolutely nothing indeed that profess a solution to this conflict. Give me your take, sir.
Secretary Chris, everything you said was on the money. What I see La République do is they don't want to accept defeat. And it will be better for La République now to accept and go to the negotiation table with us, because whether they like it or not, we are still going to have our independence and they will lose more. Unfortunately, we are losing also in Ambazonia, losing to the hands of kidnappers, of thieves, and La République. But at the end, we will still get our revolution, but La République will be the biggest loser in this battle for our independence. So you are on the money. What they are just trying to do, I think La République has a bunch of ill-informed or wicked advisors who just want to make money. And they are giving Paul Biya, or maybe the leadership of Cameroon, very bad advice. Everything they are trying to do is, like you said, is window dressing. It doesn't address the root cause. It's the simple fact is, go to the table, let's discuss the root cause of this problem between Ambazonia and La République du Cameroon. They don't want to, they are trying everything to escape it. But let me tell you, Secretary Chris, they will still come to the table. because they are only making things worse. The more longer they take, the more sophisticated our restoration fighters are going to be, and the more deadly it's going to be to La République du Cameroon. That's what I can say.
Thank you. Let me get to Barrister John and have his take on this. Barrister John, go on, please.
Yes, sir. I listened to your monologue and it's 100% on the money. Like Bishop says, and Bishop is well placed because he's of the military, is a military boss. Let me tell you, Chris, La Republic has multiplied all kinds of tricks in the world. What they call now conciliators, they had first appointed bilingualism, appointed what is the other one again? And now instead of electing the regional councils, they are appointed. Instead of electing mayors, they are appointed. Now only in Amazonia they are doing that. They have tried all the tricks in the world to avoid mediation, to avoid negotiating this matter in the international arena. I will have bad news for them. The big powers in the world, those who control the world, those who speak for the world, have told La Republique, enough is enough. I think that I don't need to elaborate. We talked about it last week. The so-called visa restriction carries along other remedies, other things that would follow. La Republique is dragging its feet and appointing conciliators even after they have read Resolution 684, even after the visa ban, they still go ahead and sign a decree appointing mediators. I don't know how that place is governed. I seem to think that since Bia left, the whole place has just gone wacko. Because they just sit around and sign anything. I don't know what is going on. I don't know whether it is the same La Republique that is now acting, or the junta that doesn't know what is from left from right. But having said that, we are not interested. Those conciliators will just be legitimate targets like those they appointed. And let anybody show up. They go and appoint 2 CPDM people. Chris, let me add something to your monologue. The 2 people appointed they are CPDM militants. Tamfu Five works for SNH and is a CPDM militant. He has campaigned in Donga Manto for a very long time for the CPDM. The other lady from Libialem is a CPDM woman. They are appointing them for what? Are those the people that will solve this problem?
But Barrister John, that is not even the crux of the issue. I don't think that is the crux of the issue. The crux of the issue here is that they are appointed to solve problems in people's backyards. And what has that? I mean, they are appointed to solve problems between 2 landowners. They are appointed to solve problems between somebody in Momo and somebody in Mezam. What has that got to do with resolving this conflict?
Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And why appoint only in Amazonia if it had nothing? If it
right.
Not
why only appoint in Amazonia? It's not happening in Lago. These guys really believe we are fools.
In their head, they are trying to circumvent the Swiss process. It cannot work. It cannot work. I don't know who is thinking for these people. I don't understand. Well, anyway, anybody who takes the risk puts himself in that position of conciliator or anything is a legitimate target. Let me tell you why. A conciliator who is a conciliator on his own is supposed to be a peacemaker. by government. I don't understand. It means that the government now wants to replace the negotiators or the mediators of the Swiss process, even after they have received the warning that they are receiving right now. I don't know whether these people they want to commit collective suicide or what. I don't know. But one thing is clear: our firepower remains the only solution out of this. If they don't come to Geneva, our firepower will get them out of our territory.
All right, we're going to get back to that. Let me get to Prof. Ayim, who is now seated. If you can centralize yourself, please, Barrister Prof. Ayim, on your camera. All right, so Prof. Ayim, give us your own take. Give us your own take on this issue. They create regional councils, they appoint their leaders. They create houses of chiefs, they appoint their leaders. They create this conciliators position, they appoint their leaders. And guess what? These leaders, their roles, their functions have nothing to do with resolving the conflict. Are they taking us for real fools? Provide him, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Sorry that it did happen that the introductory phase, I didn't take part in it. So please let me just do first thing first, then come to this point of conciliator. Greetings to fellow Ambazonians, and 21-gun salute to all the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. And I presume, Secretary Chris, that we have already observed a minute of silence. I am your humble servant and the People's IG. Dear Ambazonians, I bring you greetings from the President and Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Samuel Ekome Sako, and the Vice President, Dr. Harrison Abongwa.
It's off.
And all directors in the office of the President, country and regional coordinators, and county and LGA chairs. We thank you for maintaining the dignity of ghost towns, the foundation tool for the restoration struggle. You, the people, have indicated by all merits and in diverse ways that you want total state restoration, independence, and sovereignty. We pledge to stay focused towards this.
Prof. Ayim, did you get my question?
The microphone is gone.
Hello, Prof. Ayim, did you get my question?
Yes, come to this point of conciliators, whatever that means.
Okay, I think we are having issues with his microphone, and it doesn't appear like he got my question. My question was trying to get his take on the fact that La République du Cameroon puts on so-called special status, and they are trying to take us for fools by creating institutions and putting on portfolios that has nothing at all to do with resolving this conflict. Now, Prof. Ayim, there are, Barrister John and Comrade Bishop, many people in the international community would want us to go and negotiate with La République du Cameroon. Now, we were patient enough, and we've given La République du Cameroon 5 good years. October will make it 5 years to provide solutions, resolutions for this conflict. And all that they have done is carry out one window dressing act to the other. Don't we now have a very good, legitimate reason to show the international community that we have no choice but to continue to fight this war, being that these people have really no intention to look for real solutions? Bishop John, let me start with you, please.
Yes, Secretary, absolutely. I think there is no question that the firepower that we need in Ambazonia is going to increase. As I've told you, the delay of La Republique is an advantage to us. Because remember, when we started this war with Molotov, we started with Molotov, that fire bomb and stuff like that. We started with sticks and machetes, you know. But as time goes on, we became more sophisticated, and now we are manufacturing our own. And in fact, Ambazonia has one of the most sophisticated army in the world that is known today. We have some of the most sophisticated IED that is known to guerrilla warfare today in the world. So whatever they are doing, it is not going to work because, Sir Chris, you know, let me tell you, I think the international community has a bias. You see, like the British who want to come and do business in Ambazonia, the British who want to come and, in La Republique Cameroon, before they want Ambazonia and Ambazonia resources. They are going ahead to make decision to do business with La Republique and ignoring the human rights violation and the atrocities that the government of Cameroon is committing against Ambazonians. They don't care because they are so desperate for business partners. So you see, people like that will want to believe the lie. You heard one diplomat said that the government is already doing something. It shows that the government of Cameroon is deceiving these international committees, or these international committees do not just want to believe the truth. They want our republic to win. That is the thing. Because they have interest. They are crooked. Because I don't see any reason why at this time they are still doing what they are doing. By this time where we are now, international mediation, international intervention would have stepped into Ambazonia. And I even hear that the humanitarian organization in Ambazonia do not even have 50% of the funding that they need to support to take care of the humanitarian crisis. So, Secretary Chris, we have no other option. Our only option out of this situation is firepower. And that's why we have been calling for 2 years for every local government to step up their manufacturing of our own homemade arsenals. That we will manufacture our own weapons. We will not depend on Nigeria. We will not depend on La Republique. We will not depend on anybody, but we will depend on ourselves to make the weapons that will make La Republique run. In fact, by the time they want to go to the table, I'm expecting that we would have killed all of them. We would have destroyed all their armored cars. We would have destroyed all their vehicles. They will have nothing left by the time they are running away to go to La Republique. That's what I am expecting. And that's what I want to see. And I pray that every restoration fighter, I pray that every local government, I pray that every county in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia will have the same mindset. I pray the population, the people of Ambazonia, will not hold their peace when they want to draft. That they will draft and give us what we need to be able to prosecute this war, so that La Republique will come to the table on their knees. They will be begging us to talk with them. No matter all the type of enablers that they get, even in the diaspora, no matter the enablers they try to get, even in act, they will not succeed, because Ambazonians are together to make sure we get what we want, nothing less.
Barrister John, do we have
Yes, sir.
A better chance with the international community to say, yes, Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians have every reason to go for their own free home? After 5 years of La République de Cameroon doing nothing.
Before I answer that question, I have this to say. La République de Cameroon declared war on us on the 30th of November 2017. We joined these people as equal partners. And for them to declare war on us, that was heartless. Now that they did it, and the war has been raging, we expect no solution from La République of Cameroon, because it is an international conflict. I have said so, and I continue to say so. We cannot be waiting for La République to give us a solution, because it will never come from La République. It's an international conflict, and it must be solved at the international arena. La République will get like my able.
I agree with you. I don't think we have an issue with that. The issue has been. The issue has been.
I am
let
laying
me
the
come.
foundation.
Let me just make this point. The issue has been with those in the international community who feel that a federation is good for us. A federation is good for them. So that is where I was really heading to.
Can
Can
I?
anybody still make that argument that they can still live together, but in some sort of federation where they still
My
dictate
answer,
to us?
my, my answer is no, because the Swiss process is where that decision will be taken. My answer is the international community has now come rallying around and they want this conflict terminated. And it will be done only in an international arena with an international mediator who is supported by the United States, the European Union, the Canada, Britain, African Union. All of them have united under the Swiss process. What else do we need? And nobody in the world will decide for us which way we go. But we know that we were a state, a trust territory under the United Nations, just like La Republic. We came into this union as equal partners in status. Therefore, any conflict arising from that arrangement must only be decided at the international arena. So La Republic can multiply all its tricks in the world, it will not work. And the world has both finally come together and said, listen, either you come to the negotiating table or something will happen. Let's not chantise the international community just as yet, because they are slow in acting, but when they act decisively, particularly the United States. I am very confident that La Republic will have no choice, no choice. And if they want to commit collective suicide, so be it. That's their take. And I want to tell you, we continue to say, like Bishop just said, firepower. Even when we are on the negotiating table, if we have not negotiated ceasefire, firepower is the answer. Because we will not relent. Look at what happened in Bui on Friday. I want to let you know that I am having feelers that some big shot was touched on that Friday incident in Bui. And let me tell you, they have not seen anything yet. They haven't seen anything yet. Let them come. Let them stay on this war. Because the United States has given them sanctions. The visa restriction is a prelude to serious measures that are going to be taken. If you
Right.
read, Resolution 684 and tie it with what the policy now on visa restriction, you will understand what I'm talking about. La Republic can commit collective suicide for all I care, but they will have to leave our territory running, like Bishop says.
All right, let me get to Prof. Ayim. I hope that his audio quality is better now. Prof, can you
Yes,
hear me?
yes, it better be, it better
That
be.
is
I've been
good. That
itching
is
to
good.
talk.
That sounds good.
Do you hear me
So I
now?
wanted to get your take. I
I
wanted to
got,
get your take on these so-called public conciliators appointed by La Republic of Cameroon of all that they have done. La Republic has done nothing. Nothing is a solution to this conflict.
yes, Secretary Chris. La République cannot be the referee and coach of both sides of a match when they are the other side of the team. So things do not depend on the whims and caprices of La République to Cameroon. So the question is, are we doing what it takes for the international community to weigh in on our side? I will say yes. Okay? The respect of ghost towns shows civil and ground zero participation. That's a very strong signal. The acceleration of our defense mechanisms by the Ambazonia Restoration Forces and their actions on the ground are speaking loud and clear. We all started with den guns and rubber guns, then den guns, and now the explosives, and it's getting better, and I've not seen it yet. These are the things that we are doing right that will force the international community to consider our case very seriously, and you see that they are doing that. So we need to intensify what we are doing now and not worry about what La Republique is trying to do. To me, what La Republique is doing, like their conciliators, etc., or the elections, is cosmetic. It's dead on arrival in the Southern Cameroon's Ambazonia. So we focus on doing what it takes for the international community to come in. I am convinced we are doing it right. And one thing we should not do, yes, one thing our people should not do, our other forces, they should not start fighting ourselves.
Prof. Okay, let's focus. Thank you for that.
Right.
One point that I really wish that we drive home to our people is the fact that they have now implemented all that they set out to do in their so-called national dialogue. And they ended it last week by the appointments of these so-called conciliators. Of course, again, as I've stated in my monologue, conciliators are peacemakers. They are arbitrators. They are negotiators. Now, the MOU that appoints them states they are out to negotiate, arbitrate peace amongst council members, council residents, amongst people in the regions. You see, again, I really want our people to understand the emptiness in this thing. What has any of this got to do with sorting out a solution for this war? Our people should see that for 5 years, La Republique has done absolutely nothing, which is why I raised the point. The international community must be very, very careful now, because after 5 years, we now have a very, very legitimate reason to fight and take back our country.
Yes, but you should know that this appointment is like internal issue of La Republique. Our struggle is international. We have an international conflict with La Republique. And we, on our part, are doing what it takes for the third party to come in. So what La Republique is trying to do in their country, we cannot stop them. But we cannot allow that happen in our territory. So we now have to plan offensive to make sure that they are not functional in our community, in our own territory, and that will accelerate the coming in and the process, the international process, to get the problem solved. I think we are on the right track. So what we should be calling here is to make sure these conciliators do not function in our territory.
All right. Thank you. Let me give Bishop Egiawang the last opportunity on this point. Bishop, please.
Secretary Chris, thank you again. I'm just thinking, we have problem with La Republique du Cameroon. We are a country. We have declared our independence, and we have been doing everything to make sure that independence is materialized. We know what it takes for us to get our independence. We know that nobody, La Republique, does not want to get out of our country. We know that the international community is hesitant to come in to make peace between us. But we know what we take and what we bring them to the table, or what we force them to make the right decision. Unfortunately, people like the British, they are just interested about what they have to make, because they are break up now with the European Union, so they can make deals with any thief or cronies. They don't care. But what I'm saying is that if we increase our firepower, we concentrate heavily on our guerrilla warfare, whether they like it or not, they will internationalize the problem. The problem will be internationalized. It's already internationalized. So I don't really care about the special status for Ambazonia or the appointments and all that what people are talking about. What I really care about is how we can transform the Ambazonia Restoration Forces into the next level, where we have a sophisticated force that will just sweep all through Ambazonia. That is what is going to happen, Secretary Chris. Like I told you before, it is to our advantage to delay, because as La Republic delay, a very powerful army is emerging in Ambazonia, an army that will be respected all over Ambazonia. And that's why I want to take this opportunity to communicate to the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, to communicate to the leadership of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, that you should not be short-sighted. You should look at the future. What we are doing here, God has the grace to create a future. God has given us the grace to build the future of Ambazonia. And so we should be more focused in producing results. We should be more focused in producing fine soldiers. We should be focused in producing the best Ambazonia Restoration Forces. People who have discipline, people who have respect for the chain of command, people who will be focused on their duty, people who respect the people that they are defending. This is how we are going to make fine soldiers. We have the creed of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, that every Ambazonia Restoration Force is supposed to recite that creed, because in that creed is built in the warrior's ethos that every Ambazonia fighter is supposed to have within them. We have the ground rules that have been established, that every fighter who abides or commander who abides by this ground rule is going to be respecting the international laws on war laws, what they should do and what they should not do. That is our own order, what I can say. We have done everything to build fine soldiers. And yes, some countries have picked it up and they are going, but unfortunately, other countries are left behind. They are still coming slowly. This is what I want to say. If anybody is sitting down there and thinking that Ambazonia is going to fail, so they want to be like they're in the middle, so they will choose La Republic side, you are a loser. You are a loser. Those people, in my opinion, who are not contributing to support the Ambazonia struggle right now, the Restoration Council or the powers that be must make sure these people will pay more, double enough. Double is not enough for what they will pay, because a few people are sacrificing now to make sure we get a better country and a better future. Restoration fighters are sacrificing their life. Our civilians are dying every day. Properties are being destroyed. But there are people living comfortably, and even some people who,
all right.
Bishop
John, it appears
struggle have obtained visas and residence in foreign countries. They are there now.
Secretary Chris.
Yes.
Secretary Chris.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let me just chip in here.
All right. Quickly, let's move on to the next subject.
Yeah, okay. The international community, the UN, they have a tool to solve this problem, where to maintain the peace. The tool is a referendum. A referendum is good for every country. That's the best tool they have. We are not the ones to call for. The people of Southern Cameroon and Ambazonia have expressed their interest to be sovereign, to have independence. Now, with this tool, let them ask the question, conduct a referendum, ask the question, what do you people want? And they will supervise this referendum. Do you want independence? Do you want to be with La Republic? The UN can handle this. That's the most peaceful way to go about this. And then let the people of the Southern Cameroons decide.
Chris, I cannot let this fly. Let me answer.
All right, go ahead, Barrister John.
no two countries have independence twice. We had independence voted on the 21st of April 1961. Secondly, we have had a referendum. A referendum that Professor Ayim is referring to may only be a last resort on that negotiating table. We don't need a referendum. But if the world thinks that not all of us agree to have our country, and they ram that on us at the negotiating table, so be it. But I will not be advocating for a referendum at this time because we have had a referendum and look at where we are. The United Nations is not an honest broker. Because if the United Nations was an honest broker, they would have listened to the voice of the people as it was coming from Mountain Conference. Instead of doing that, they went behind and tapped what they call two alternatives. Either you go into fire or you go into water. Listen, we will not advocate a referendum until it is rammed down on us by the international community at the negotiating table. But now, we are not calling for a referendum because we have had one before. We have had one before, and we are an independent country. Why do we need a referendum?
All right, all right. I think you.
No, I think we are not calling for it now. We're not calling for it now. We're just saying that that's a possible solution that could come at the negotiating table. What the international community can do. I am not saying to call for it and stop.
Let's wait for the results at the table, Prof. Ayim. Let's not propagate now, please.
I agree.
All right, gentlemen, it's getting a little bit heated there. I can see that. But I think that both of you are on point. However, I just like as Barrister John says, I don't think it is even the moment for us, anyone among us, to be talking about referendum. We're not there. We are not there because I don't believe there is any Ambazonian out there who says he or she wants to remain part of La République du Cameroon. But if we get to that point where the international community says not even all of you are united, like they tell us how divided we are, we can then test them with a referendum. That moment will come. It is not now. Thank you. Now, let us move to the next subject, gentlemen, and that has to do with the ghost towns. Yesterday, I put out an audio asking Ground Zero, letting Ground Zero to know this interim government hasn't called off ghost towns. And of course, we didn't. And we will never, not until this war is over. Ghost towns have become a very, very special symbol to this conflict. And we will never, ladies and gentlemen, Ground Zero, listen to me, we will never call off ghost towns. You wake up in the morning and you get a message or you see a leaflet flying on the streets and they are telling you that ghost towns have been called off, and it is not coming from your interim government. Know that it is coming from partners of La République du Cameroon. Now, the ghost town, the call off of ghost town that we have seen was called off by Ebenezer Akwanga. Ebenezer Akwanga, ladies and gentlemen, who is supposed to be a member of the ARC movement, the ARC that represents all of Ambazonia in negotiations with La République du Cameroon. Now, I am a member of ARC. I sit in ARC. We deliberate, we discuss what happened, what is going to be done in any given situation. We have discussed the idea, the problem of, they call it CBM, confidence building measures. We were told that La République du Cameroon requested that measure so they can rest assured that if they should sit on conference table and arrive at any decision with us, we are able to get it effectively implemented on ground zero. So, However, most of us in ARC, the interim government and a few other groups, we said the international community has said dialogue that gets into the root causes without preconditions. Again, dialogue that gets into the root causes of the conflict without any preconditions. And so we wondered why La République du Cameroon, in order to come to the negotiation table, would be demanding for some confidence building measures to test and see whether we have the ability to enforce any agreement reached on that negotiation table. And so the interim government and a few other groups said, no, we are not going to be part of that. Ebenezer Akwanga, at the weekend, he sat there, waited until the weekend was here. He sneaked out leaflets, printed in Ghana, sneaked them to ground zero. They were possibly distributed by the Cameroon military, ladies and gentlemen, distributed by the Cameroon military. He sneaked them in from Ghana. And again, they were distributed by the Cameroon military, calling off ghost towns on Mondays, June the 14th, I think through June the 28th or 26th, one of those. He was trying to please La République du Cameroon. Now, I have seen many of you out there in the social media asking Ebenezer to be fired, sacked from ARC. I buy your point. I buy your point completely. Ebenezer is supposed to have been out of ARC a long time, since last year. Let me tell you what we do not know. Ebenezer has been meeting with French Cameroon government behind ARC since March of 2020. And it took them, it took a lot of pressure from ARC on Ebenezer to even accept that they met with La République du Cameroon, ECO, and a delegation, I think, 9 or 10 from Cameroon. They met in Accra, Ghana. They arrived at some at some resolutions, assignments that Ebenezer would carry out within ARC. And in that arrangement, in those resolutions, Ebenezer was supposed to bring some of the leaders, the major leaders, of course, Dr. Sako and others, so they can meet secretly, privately, with La République du Cameroon. Ebenezer contacted Dr. Sako, and Dr. Sako said, no, I am not going to be having any private meeting with La République du Cameroon. We should meet at the negotiation table. I believe he also contacted other members in ARC, but they turned down that invitation. But Ebenezer continued to deal and negotiate with La République du Cameroon until now. Yesterday, over the weekend, he announced these ghost towns shut down. Just so he can prove, ladies and gentlemen, to La République du Cameroon, that the APLM, the SOCADEF, that his SOCADEF is able to enforce, and he essentially wants to present himself as a major power. In the reliefs that Akwanga and his team sent out into ARC, posted in the ARC forum, they said, well, they are calling for towns in which territories that SOCADEF has control. They are calling for Ambazonians to stay home on Monday and go to a church and celebrate Memorial Day. How do you begin to celebrate Memorial Day, sir, when the war is still raging on? How can you do that? And which are those territories that SOCADEF controls? Where are they? In Amazonia. You had a show to announce your ghost town shut down, and the only person commenting on your show was your wife. If you had troops occupying some territories on the ground, I mean, you have troops occupying territories on the ground, and you do not have supporters to support you on the social media, and only your family has to be commenting. Ladies and gentlemen, what is beginning to happen in this struggle is that finally, we are beginning to see the black legs. They are emerging. And again, I agree with those of you who say ARC ought to suspend Ebenezer from that movement, because apparently, personally, I will not sit in any meeting where Ebenezer is in there, because he is a black leg within us, furnishing La République du Cameroon with everything that we discuss in there. All right, let me get to my panelists. Bishop John, I will start with you, sir. I believe you heard me. That is what happened at the weekend. Ebenezer Akwanga put out a release, printed leaflets in Ghana, transported them to ground zero. Who distributed those flyers on the ground? Because I don't believe anybody who is an Ambazonian, a patriot, went out distributing those leaflets, knowing what La République du Cameroon army will do. Who do you think distributed those flyers on the ground?
Okay. Secretary Chris, I think that we still have a pocket of enablers in Ambazonia who will do anything for pay. People who have sold their soul and they don't care about our freedom. There are some people who are very ignorant and they think that by serving La République or serving their personal interest is going to do any good to them. They end up losing their lives. You just said something about Ebenezer or Sukadev, APLM. I want to say something that you not say. Last year, I think it was last year or year before that, when Ebenezer went to Ghana and the plan had a meeting there with that, during that time they had that meeting with La République, he connived with certain members of the Donga Matung county, I think from the Ako local government, and some Ambazonia restoration fighters from the IG, where I don't know how much they paid them, but they had to go to Ghana. We have the pictures. They had to go to Ghana to attend that meeting. And Ebenezer or the APLM people were saying that it is a joint effort, is the Ambazonia, is fighters from everywhere with their sister group, which they did not even contact the leadership of the interim government. I am a member of ACT representing the Ambazonia defense, the Ambazonia, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia Defense Forces in the ACT, and the APLM or Sukadev, they unilaterally go make decision and claim that they are working with sister forces and just getting money. Let me tell you, Secretary Chris, all this they are doing is for money, and HD is giving the money, whoever is giving the money, it's just for money. And I want to send this as a message. Listen, a good fighter, a good soldier, respect the chain of command. I know everybody could be fighting for freedom in Ambazonia, but what I want to let you know that do not go anywhere in order for anyone who is not in your chain of command. Your local government have a defense leadership, your counties have the defense leadership. Before you do anything and somebody come out, I don't care how much money they give you, you cannot sell your future, you cannot sell your country for a piece of money, something like that, for money. What we are fighting for Ambazonia is more than any other thing. It is more than just your life. So I am really advising the Ambazonia Restoration Forces out there. I'm advising people out there, know that anything that you do in Ambazonia is going to leak. It's going to come out. Because this Ambazonia revolution or restoration struggle, it is ordained by God. And you can see, Secretary Chris, how systematically those things that people have tried to hide, they are coming to surface. They are coming to light. People who think that people like this can never do anything like this, and now you are seeing. So time will help us to know who is who. Some of us have been consistent. We are speaking from time memorial, from the type of organized resistance of what we have so far now as the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, working with the Tigers of Amazonia. When you talk of Ghost Town, when people hear about the Tigers are coming, the Tigers are coming. Yes, the Tigers were the #1 reinforcer of Ghost Town. So we have a passion for Ghost Town. I was one of the members of the Tigers. And for somebody just come and say that they want to close Ghost Town because they want to make themselves popular, they have made themselves more unpopular. Akwanga has become more unpopular than he has ever been in Ambazonia for this stupid mistake he has made because of greed, of selfishness. That's what he has become. He has just shot himself on the foot. I don't know who advised him to do that. Whatever he has done, he has destroyed himself. Because
Bishop John, I want to ask you.
Respect goes down.
Bishop John, I'd like to ask you this question because I know that you are very versed with what who is on the ground. Where does Ebenezer Akwanga have fighters on the ground, tollers of territories?
Senator Chris, I will tell you that one area where Akwanga could have fighters is Matobutu. But the fighters in Matobutu are being taken care of by the government of the Ambazonia, of the interim government. Akwanga had fighters sometime everywhere, but these fighters, because they are not being taken care of, some have just left and joined their local government. So right now, I have asked Akwanga representative in the act to tell me where they have their forces. Where do you have forces? They say it's top secret. What top secret? Tell me where we have forces in Ambazonia. I will tell you, the IG have forces in every county in Ambazonia. I will tell you the counties and the local government that don't have forces. Some countries we have forces in few local governments, and we don't have forces in all of the local government. I will tell you that what is that top secret? What is top secret about knowing which territory you control and where are they? When has Sokadev ever enforced anything? Now, when we give an order, the Sokadev fighters, the ones that are in Mato, they respond because they are being taken care of by the local government. You know, they are being taken by the local government. So if you ask me that, Chris, at one time they said this fighter in Muyenge was Sokadev. You can say you've heard some of the Udora that come. Opopo gets support from the IG, you know. But Opopo sometimes remains loyal, so that's what we can say that Opopo is Sokadev. But if you go and really talk to Opopo, I don't know, you know. So the thing is that say that you have fighters is one thing, but taking care of this fighter is another thing. You see, the interim government of President Samuel Komesako is so strategic that we think ahead. Let me tell you, there are things that we have not even revealed to even some people in this IG that the Defense Department has been working on long since. You know, our president is very strategic, and we have been thinking we need to do, and all these things we knew that taking care of our Ambazonia Restoration Forces is paramount. And that's why you see the draft, you see what we have been doing, this local government and these brigades and county, all these things that we are forming, is to make sure we take care of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. That is the only sustainable way that we can stand, you know. But if you just come on TV and declare that you have forces and you are not taking care of that forces, you are not making sure they are abiding by the rules, and you allow those forces to be kidnapping people and to eat. They have to kidnap people to eat, you know, because that's the only way they can get money by force. So you come and say that you have forces. Where do they have forces and what are they doing? We are yet to find out, to know where he has forces. In fact, I'm waiting for a report to know where those ghost towns were respected in their controlled territory. I'm waiting for that report. Let them tell me where they are controlling that did not obey ghost town today.
Let me thank you. Let me get to Barrister John. Barrister John, one thing that we see from Akwanga is the mention of Memorial Day celebration. Is calling off Ghost Town for the celebration of a Memorial Day for our fallen. And on Monday, Ghost Town Day, everybody go to church and pray. My question is, since when did Ambazonians start going to church on Mondays? And how do you come talking about some Memorial Day when the war is still raging on?
Yes, Chris. Apanka is making those who helped him, Ambazonians who helped him, to have that spectacular escape to be regretting today. He talks about a Memorial Day. It's a strategy for him to enforce the ghost town that he has declared against. And I don't know where people will go to church for Apanka. In which territory is he talking about? Which church holds on a Monday instead of Sunday? And which memorial service or memorial day during a war? Memorial Day is always celebrated after a war. Let me paint a
Exactly. But,
yeah, let me paint
but
a
you don't have to say, you know that this guy is very intelligent. He has fought this war for over 30 years and he knows what
come on,
Memorial Day
man.
is.
Come on. Let me paint a Quanka so
He's a
you know it.
veteran in this struggle, you know that.
Quanka is a hungry man. He is very hungry. A man who lives in the United States without a regular job. A man who runs around the world begging for money. A man who can negotiate, he can sell his life to get money. He has negotiated a deal. He has a deal with the Republic of Cameroon. You better believe it. And he has been paid to make sure that ghost towns don't hold anymore. I have bad news for him. If he has been watching social media, there was ghost town everywhere in Amazonia today. So Akwanka will have to explain to La Republic of Cameroon how he was able to stop ghost town. Look, Akwanka is a hungry man. He has betrayed this cause not once, not twice. Can you believe that he's meeting with the intelligent chief of La Republic of Cameroon, whatever? Eh? He has been meeting with a lot of people. He has met people, La Republic people in Ghana several times. And each time he comes out with an envelope that him and his wife can take care of themselves. He has nobody in that his organization. It's only him and his wife. Let him show us one official of Tokadeb or APLN. No, I stand corrected. But Akwanka should be dismissed from ACT. I don't care. You people are talking about suspension. He's a permanent danger. He's a permanent danger in the ACT organization. He should be taken out immediately so that La Republic will get the message. Because I have a feeling that La Republic planted him in that act. Because Akwanka, the type of things that Akwanka has done since becoming a member of the act are unbelievable for this struggle. You treating with the enemy, you are eating from the enemy, you are meeting with the enemy alone and alone in hotels in Ghana. Why Ghana? Because he knows that he cannot be arrested in Ghana. He is a fugitive. He was serving a 20-year jail term in La Republic, and Ambazonians got together and arranged for his spectacular escape. Now he is there. He's meeting with them and getting food. Look, this guy is a permanent danger in the act. I am joining my voice in those of the act. I'm not a member of act. I join my voice.
Well, that really depends. That really depends if actually the ACT members would see it from the same standpoint as you do, which I doubt, Bishop John. You know what I'm talking about.
Let me say something, Chris.
Yeah.
Quickly, before I get to Prof. Ayib.
There are a lot of people in that act that I have my reservations about them. Those are the type of people that would stand with him. But
all right.
those
Thank
who
you. Let's get Prof. Ayim's take on this Ebenezer thing. Prof. Ayim, please.
Yes, thank you. Look, I have known Akwanga and I've worked with him for over 30 years. So when he's talking about 30 years, I'm in that category. I worked with him in the Southern Cameroon Youth League when he was chairman and Ayaba was secretary general. I know this voice. I know him. Akwanga is about me, myself, and I. That is Akwanga. And he will not change. Listen, he has recused himself from ACT, from that ceasefire thing, solo move that he made. He has recused himself from ACT. This statement about terminating Ghost Town further supports the fact that he has recused himself from ACT. And in fact, this statement he has made about Ghost Town is a testimony. We are fasting and praying. God has answered our prayers. He has made it in such a way that Akwanga has made himself irrelevant by himself. That is the work of God. So going forward, if act is still involving him, then those individuals in the act must have a question sign against their names, because he has, by his own actions, recused himself. So why will he be counted as part of act? Now,
All right.
about money, that is true. Akwanga sued La République in the International Protocol Court and won the case. Akwanga will fall for any dime La République will give to recover that amount. He will go for it no matter what happens. And I'm sure La République has promised paying him that fine. And so he's doing everything to collaborate with La République to come through to get that full sum.
Yeah. And the way to do that is to coerce ACT members into doing what La République has contracted with him to do. Bishop John, I don't know whether you are still there.
Chris, Akwanka is not the only one who is calling for a stop to Ghost Town. There's also Ayabacho. There is a flyer that the governing council of Ayabacho's organization has put out with his picture and denouncing Ghost Town, that the Ghost Town for many years has not produced any results. That is on social media with his picture put out there by what do they call that thing? Amazonia Governing Council or whatever. That has been put out there. So there are two of them, and they are collaborators of La République du Cameroon.
Well, I have some reservations there. I have some reservations there.
The people of Amazonia.
Wait.
Okay.
Prof. Ayim, you want to say something?
Yeah, I said the people of Amazonia, by respecting Ghost Town massively today, have definitely sent a message to Akwanga and anybody that only the interim government can talk when it comes to Ghost Towns, and so they have defied them. So this makes them, Akwanga and Jancho, irrelevant. We will not even spend precious time talking about them because the people have said no. And we are the people's interim government. They are listening to us. Thank you.
All right. Again, I was about saying that as far as Ayabacho calling off ghost towns is concerned, I am not very sure. I cannot confirm that. However, there were messages out there to the effect that they did call off or join Ebenezer Akwanga to call off ghost towns. However, today, Ayaba issued a statement that he did not and would never call off ghost towns. Let's take him by his words. But what I am concerned with, Bishop John, is what is going on in the Guzang and Mogamo, where instead of going after La République du Cameroun, Ayaba's boys continue to attack either the residents or our own legitimate Ambazonian fighters in that community. Right now, as we speak, people have abandoned the Guzang market, no more residing in that market area. And I showed you the images here from Guzang. As you can see, this is Guzang here. And let's listen to what this guy is saying.
So that is that. This is Guzang, you are seeing like this. This is Guzang market. Nobody lives in Guzang market. This market is made up of 22 villages. So they're not just punishing but Guzang, but they're punishing the whole entire Mogamo, as you see. Look at the shop. People are only parking out, going out of Guzang. Where do you want the common man to go? Good morning. So you people should look at it and please inform us on what to do. Good morning. So you can see the shops, the shed, everything. You don't see anybody in Guzang. The whole place is locked. The shop now, people are now running closer to where they will see but the military. So that is that.
People are running to where they would find the military for help. People are running to where they will find the military for help. Now, those are people in Baitebo, in Guzang precisely, lamenting the situation the ADF of Cho Ayaba has put the community there. Bishop John, you are in the intelligence and security business in this interim government. Apparently, I would say, Momo and Mogamo in particular have refused to do anything in this situation, and the ADF just continue to go after the indigenes, killing some, sending some packing, as we see in this video. What is it going to take for these people, Momo and Mogamo, to arrest this situation? Bishop John, please.
Yes, Secretary Chris, please permit me and give me some time. Let me just try to say something and maybe with some education. You know, us who are war fighters, some of us who are professional military people, when you take an oath to fight in the military, to become a military person, that oath is against all enemies of that country, foreign and domestic. We have the Ambazonia Restoration Fighters Oath of Service that every Ambazonia Restoration Force have to take. And even the defense leadership of the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, they have to take that oath. And that oath makes us to say that we have to fight against all enemies, foreign and domestic. But when a local government or a community decide that they are not going to attack certain enemies because those enemies are of the same tribe, or they are of the same clan, or from the same village, that's where we have problems. And the problem in Mogamo is because of this, because some of the fighters in the ADF are from Mogamo, and most of the leadership is from Mogamo. So Mogamo, they made a decision that they will not fight their own. They are killing them. Look at the amount of losses that we have incurred or we have suffered in Mogamo because of ADF. And as these things happen in some other local governments as well. And one of the messages that I'm giving all the defense leadership is that once you take an oath to Ambazonia, when you take an oath to lead the people of Ambazonia defense, you are taking an oath against any enemies, and you cannot put sentiment in front. Sentiment in war fighting. If you are going to be fighting this war with sentiment, you are not fit to be a defense leadership, or you are not fit to be a fighter. Because a fighter, you obey and you do what is right for the country. And so any enemy, when I talk about enemy, I'm talking about enablers. Now, somebody should ask a question. Where is ADF fighting? Where is ADF fighting? All you hear is ADF fighting Ambazonia Restoration Forces. All you hear is ADF harassing civilians, harassing villages. All you hear is ADF collecting ransom. All you hear, they have weapons like this. Where they having that money to have weapons? What amount of money is the ADF supporters that are in the diaspora giving them? They have a system where they have to educate and let these boys do kidnapping for them to be able to buy what they are buying, and they have to terrorize people. This is an enabling force. Right now, they are helping Bella Republic. So those of you who are still on the fence to make a decision, what is ADF? What good is ADF to this Ambazonia struggle? Are they helping us or are they helping La Republic to come in? You have to look at this and answer for yourself honestly. And I am telling those other local government who are harboring kidnappers like in Mancon and Bafut, some areas, these kidnappers have become enablers because they are in the Ambazonia community. Anybody who swore to defend Ambazonia and then turn again against the Ambazonia population, against the Ambazonia people, has become an enemy. I don't care how powerful, how strong you used to be, how big, you have turned against your own people. And if you don't stop, you are going to be taken care of. I told people that they should decommission them. I have said it again that they are going to neutralize commando. Nobody said anything. But when I went and I said that kidnappers should be decommissioned, you hear people were making noise. All enablers and thieves who are hiding in the diaspora and making our boys to be kidnapping people, they started running their mouth. You know, let me tell you, like we said, enough is enough. We will prosecute this struggle to the end, and we will do it rightly. Fight the enemies, foreign and domestic. If you are an enemy to this struggle, I don't have no pity for you. Even if you are my family, even if you are my father or my brother, I don't have no pity for you. If I have to kill you, I will kill you. Because what has to win is this Amazonia, this struggle. We have to have independence. Some of us will not be there to enjoy the independence. Maybe we might not be there. But the future of Amazonia will be an Amazonia future. It will not be that one that is determined by the Republic or determined by the international community. So what some of us are doing is a sacrifice. Some of us are sacrificing a lot to do this. And no, we will not allow people, because of self and because of pride, to come and destroy this revolution by turning the people against the genuine Ambazonia restoration forces. So I am calling on every local government and county, you better up your game against kidnappers. And family members, please, Ambazonian people, like Secretary Chris has said, if you see any kidnapper, you get any information, send it to Secretary Chris. He will get you to the right information and we will deal with them. God is giving us favor. We will be rooting them up one after another until Ambazonia is clean. We will have a genuine revolution. We will have a genuine country that we fight for honestly, fighting the enemy that is destroying or trying to hinder us from being who God has called us to be. That's what I can say. So ADF, let me tell you, Secretary Chris, one thing I have to add is that Ayaba could also be deceived, because when the Ambazonia restoration fighter carry out an action like in Bui, the ADF people will take a picture and they will send to Ayaba that they are the one who have done it. And he will be there saying that his fighters are doing something, and he will go and make false statement and claim those fights, which is done by the Ambazonia Restoration Forces. So that is what it is. Ambazonians, decide for yourself. You should draft, give the power, full power to the Ambazonia Restoration Forces, give the full power to our President, President Samuel Komesako. It's a blessing to us. Give the full power to this IG, the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Let us do what we can do. The war we are fighting has a lot of dynamics. There's a lot of risk into it. There's a lot of things, but I just want you to commit and at one point, just decide that you are for this war no matter what it is. And stop putting sentiment and stop saying that this person did this or this person did this. Because of that, you are not going to draft that. You are not doing any good. You are instead killing yourself. So please, that's just what I can say. So far as ADF is concerned.
Thank you. Let me get over to Prof. Ayim and Barrister John to give us their take on this briefly. Let's move to the last point and open the phone lines, please. Prof. Ayim, your turn.
Yes,
I happen on what the ADF is doing in Batable, and that happens to be your county.
That's right. I happen to be from Momo, and I just want to tell the people that the situation in Mogamo is a situation that can only be handled by the county defense. And the county has held 2 general assemblies, and the county has made decisions, and the county is making plans to take care of that situation in Mogamo. We are calling on our Ambazonians to just give the county, Momo County, a little bit, and the ADF will be routed out of Mogamo. Before now, it was like a Mogamo claiming to be like a county within a county, and they couldn't handle this situation. So this problem has been solved, and Mogamo is cooperating with the Momo County and other 4 county LGAs, and there's a county plan being hashed to take care of this, Secretary Chris. So don't lament too much. The situation is going to be taken care of by the Momo Defense new structure. So this is all I can say about this. I don't want to talk so much and give details out there. Yes, the county is going to handle this. Thank you.
Well, I hope that they do. I hope that they do, because we have heard this again and again and again. And I am witness to the IG giving money for this situation to be taken care of sometime last year. It never happened. It never happened. I want to believe you that this time it happens.
Yes, believe me, because there's a new security bill up, and the defense is being revamped, structure is being revamped. Believe me, Momo is rising, is on a good foot based on what we are discussing. You believe me soon. Thank you.
Okay, Barrister John, please. Barrister John,
Yes.
give us your take on this Guzang thing.
Yes, Chris, I want to be blunt here.
Okay.
There are people in the interim government who are complacent to what is happening in Mogamo.
Am I one? Are you referring to me?
No. Listen to me first. I have done my investigation.
Okay.
There are people in the interim government that are complacent with what is happening in Mogamo. When Mogamo drafted a lot of money, some people in interim government thought that Mogamo will stand on its own. Oh, they cannot be part of Momo. Oh, they cannot do this. And they have stifled any kind of military or political movement in Mogamo because they are the ones to grow. And they are in the interim government. They are complacent with this, what is happening in Mogamo. There are people in Mancon, Bachomba, who are complacent with what is happening in Mancon. And let me tell you, Chris, there is somebody who is writing and defending the ADF in Mogamo from Mancon Bachomba, and is writing on the platform of Mancon Bachomba. It is unfortunate that the executive in the Mancon Bachomba has not had the guts, like Mezam did, to take this person out of their forum. They allow him to publish all kinds of things about ADF and give ADF some relevance that they don't have. I am getting very sick with these people. The kidnapping that we are talking about, that is in Quen, is coming from Mancon and going to Bafut, and with the complacence of some people who in the past claimed they were of the defense chiefs of Mancon Bachomba, and they caused that problem, and they are housing kidnappers in Tanka who are remnants of ADF, and they capture our people, they take ransom from our people, they torture them, they go to Quen and capture people, torture them and take money, and we have an executive in Mancon Bachomba. It's unfortunate. I will say it, and I will say it. Let the chickens come home.
Barrister
That's all I have
John,
to say.
Barrister John, let me do a follow-up question to what you are saying. You are a member of the IOC that serves essentially as a discipline committee, and some of these reports have come to you. I mean, talking about Guzang and Mancon, the kidnappings and the attacks on civilian population in Guzang. Why hasn't your committee been able to really get into the bottom of this and lay the blame precisely where it is? As you mentioned, there are people in the interim government partly responsible.
Yes, Chris, the IOC has done so much. The IOC has worked so hard to make sure that Mogamo joins the Momo County from the beginning. Because of people at the background in the interim government that are peddling this thing about Mogamo standing on its own. They have done everything to destroy a very big LGA like Mogamo, and ADF is coming in there because of the windows that are open in Mugamo. If they were with the county would not allow that to happen. But look at where they are now. We are now fighting fire. We are now fighting fire because of some people in the interim government. And everybody knows them. The IOC has done everything to resolve the conflict between the county of Momo and Mugamo. And it's not working, Chris. And the newly elected chairman is trying his best, but because he's been hemmed from both sides, he cannot work.
Mr. John, when you say they are in the interim government and everybody knows them, who is stopping who from calling them out, calling the names out? Let people decide.
Chris, I am telling you, and you can take it to the bank for all I care. There are people in the interim government that are peddling what is happening in Mugamo. They even deny that ADF is not in Mugamo. They even deny that some of our restoration forces were not arrested. It's on social media, and these people, we all know them. There is a group of people who call themselves who were managing Mogamo at the time of the draft. They call them the caretaker committee. They are at the origin of this whole mess, and they are affiliated to the interim government. They are cabinet members who are peddling this thing in Mogamo, and there is somebody in Mancon Bachomba that has been publishing on the Mancon Bachomba platform forum, taking sides with the ADF, and it's a Mancon man, and we know that the ADF remnants in Mancon who are kidnapping our people and taking ransom. Let's call a spade, and I have launched this. Let anybody challenge me. I'm used to fighting. I have told the executive in Mancon that I will not attend any meeting until that person is taken out of the Mancon forum and meeting.
We need to talk about that behind the cameras, Barrister John.
Well,
we need to talk about that.
I have the opportunity now to denounce what is happening in Mogabo and to denounce what is happening in Mancon.
Yes, we will talk about that. We will talk about that behind the scenes, and so we can get onto it here. Let's, however, believe what Prof. Ayim has said here, that something is being done. The house is being put together in Momo.
I hope so. I hope so. Because the interim government has put money in Mogamo. It didn't yield anything. Let's hope that it happens this time.
That's exactly what I said before, because I know the interim government has put money into this thing since last year, and yet we still come here and talk about it, unfortunately. So let us believe, let us hope that it is taken care of right now. Gentlemen, we will move to the next subject here, and it has to do with the indictment last week of the famous Ma Ngang, the famous Ma Ngang, the person whose face you find on your screen there, ladies and gentlemen. It was an unfortunate situation that happened. Ma Ngang, we have learned, and 3 others are being indicted by the U.S. government for illegally dealing in arms, ammunition. First, I like to make a number of clarifications here, because I know people have sent messages asking, is Ma Ngang part of your interim government? The answer is no. She has not been part of this government. She used to be a cabinet member. She was fired from being from that position, and for probably 3 years, she hasn't been part of the interim government. Having said that, I want to say, every true Ambazonian, every patriot out there at this moment should be a ma in gang. Again, every Ambazonian patriot out there should be a ma in gang. The reason I say so is because, but for the foolishness in which this thing was carried out, what she was doing something that would have helped our struggle. Unfortunately, it was very amateurly done to the extent she videotaped herself from an ammunition factory and put out there, made rounds in the social media, and I guess one enemy picked up on it and forwarded it to the U.S. government, and now she's being indicted for that. Why we make it very clear, very clear that this interim government has no connection with my Ngang. I would like to say that my Ngang is, every Ambazonian out there, every patriot out there should be a Ma Ngang. Because what she did, I believe, if you put me in her position with the resources or with the sources, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I will do the same thing. I'll bet, not foolishly, but in a way that delivers the goods. But that is not what she did. However, we cannot go after her because she was doing what many of us would do, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to appeal to every Ambazonian out there, stand behind her, support her if you can, and let us see how far this goes. But I want to assure you, this has nothing to do with this interim government. 1 minute each of you. I start with you, Bishop John. You have any say about this?
Yes, Secretary Chris. Yeah. I just want to say that it's unfortunate because, just like you said, if those things had got into Ambazonia, it would have been a plus. I know that no matter what side she might be in, no matter her dislike for our president or the IG, they were fighting La Republic. But unfortunately, those things never happened. But the education that I want to give is that when you are doing something and you are doing it out of envy, as if you are fighting or competing with a fellow Ambazonian, your chances of failing is high. When you have something like this, a good idea, don't push it out there. Just do it hiddenly, and do it for good. Don't put yourself ahead of it. Just let the glory go to God, or let the glory go to Ambazonia. I think that because of some other personal pleasures or something, that what resulted in being posted on social media, or somebody wanting to prove something, that led to those things being posted on social media, and that's resulted to that. But like you said, she was doing good for Ambazonia. You know, anybody who can help us bring some firepower into Ambazonia, take it. As long as they are fighting the enemy, not those who bring firepower to keep for themselves and to use it to terrorize our people to get money. You know, so that's where the problem is. So I agree with you. We need to start with Manga. She's a patriot, even though not of the same camp. Thank you.
Prof. I.M., please.
Yes, I have known Mangang for long. We've attended conferences together. And when I saw that video, I was flabbergasted. My advice out there, please respect the laws of the country in which you're operating, and don't go about things foolishly. When you take a video, you expose yourself. It is what it is. So let's stand by her as well. She was for the cause and has always been for the cause. But it is what it is at this point.
All right.
Put her in prayers. Thank you.
Barrister John, your take on this, sir.
I take a different view. We are at the crossroads. We are at a situation where we cannot compromise anything. They are not. It's not only 3 people. There are about 13 people involved in this whole saga since 2018. and they have been investigated and they have been indicted. Some of them are pleading guilty and having plea bargaining. I want to sound an alarm that the interim government for now to stay as far as possible from these people, because we are at the crossroads of what is happening today. You cannot violate an American law, a federal law in the US, and expect to get out of it. I don't know how standing behind Mangang is going to happen. But I'm saying, if you look at it, 13, we have a lot, some of the people who are our supporters. They may not be in the interim government, but they are our supporters. But I cannot classify them along with Mangang. Given the statement that Mangang has been making since 2018 till today. Listen, I am saying that you can do whatever political thing you want to do, but stay away from that case, because it's a criminal case and it happened. They were caught hands down. They were caught doing what they were doing. I don't know where some of you are claiming that if she succeeded, it would have been beneficial to us. How do we know that when we have people like Ayabacho killing our people? Do you know whether those guns, those things could have been shipped to get to Ayabacho? I don't know. But I'm saying the interim government should be very careful, stay away from a criminal matter like this.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
let justice take its course, please.
Right.
Because we are at the crossroads. The American government is looking at our case and looking very carefully, and we cannot take the risk of being complacent by those who violate American law. Please be very careful. We should be very careful. That is my take on this. I'm not talking like a lawyer. I'm not talking like a lawyer. I'm not talking like a politician on this matter.
Yeah, Barrister John, I think I agree with you. Every other person agrees with you. But listen, I really think that in this struggle that we are in for, we have to go to certain lengths to free our country. And I think that many of you out there, having the opportunity, would do what she was trying to do. Maybe not in the way she was trying to do. Maybe not in the way she was trying to do. But let me finish. I'll let you speak. Not in the way she was trying to do it, but at least to make sure that Ground Zero has a firepower. We don't know who she was going to send it to. Maybe she was going to send it to Ayabacho, as you say, who would then use it, turn it against our people. We cannot tell that right now. This is circumstantial. But, Barrister John, I get your point. I really understand. This interim government will not defend her. And I am not defending her by any means. But I am saying she is just one Amazonian, perhaps, who was trying to do something that could help. We don't know. But that is what she was doing. Barrister John, I give you the last word.
Chris, can I?
Yes, please.
Can I? Since 2018, this particular woman has been against the interim government and against.
Correct. Let me tell you something there, Barrister John. I will come to you. I want just to confirm what you are saying. She left the interim when she was fired from the interim government. She told people that it was all Chris Anu that made her to be fired from the interim government. This is a woman I don't know when I last talked to, maybe about 4 years ago. So listen, I am not on her side on anything, but I am looking at this from the perspective of any other Amazonian. Thank you. Go on, sir.
Well, I was saying that since 2018, this woman has been against the interim government. And for anybody to think that she will shift arms on the ground for interim government is neither here nor there.
No, nobody is saying that at all. I don't even believe that. So please, let's get it right.
Listen to me. If I find out where Ayabacho is getting his arms, I'm going to attack it. Look, I don't look. Listen, because any arm that go down to our territory, it's a double sword. It can get into the hands of Atanganji boys. It can get into the hands of Ayabatio, and they will do harm to our people. All I'm saying, as a lawyer, I'm trying to say that let's not rock the boat. Let the judicial system run its course. If you have to do something political, maybe demonstration, well, I have nothing
No,
against that.
no, no, no.
But
Demonstrating for what?
I am saying that the
Say, Chris, I have
people
something to say.
to stay as far as possible from this case.
All right, let's
Because
get
we are
to
at the
Paris.
crossroads. We are at the crossroads right now, and we need the support of this country where we live and we enjoy freedom. Anybody who violates the law of the land here should face the music. That's all
All
I'm
right,
saying.
awesome. That's all we all want. Okay, Bishop John, on please.
Yes, I have a question for the Ambazonian people and I advise. It is very evident that the interim government led by President Samuel Komisako is the one that God has chosen to take us to Buea. Please, I'm pleading with Ambazonia. Instead of fighting what is working, stop fighting. Join what is winning. Join the winning team. They should stop fighting because of issues or the past, the future, because you don't like somebody. No. The Ambazonia, Federal Republic of Ambazonia is leading, is the leader in this revolution. Forget about the past. Those of you who claim that, okay, you started the revolution many years ago, but you did not bring us here. The never again generation is what has brought us here. So forget about the past, humble yourself, let all of us rally behind the interim government and give President Sako and his team the support that they have, that they need, and let us get to Buea. There are people who have no reason to go against this interim government, but they are going against the interim government. This is what I have for them. Anybody going against the interim government, if you go and going to do something, God, you are not going to have the favor of God, because I strongly believe that God's favor is with this IG, with this interim government led by President Samuel Komisako. If you are going against it, you are going against ignorantly, and hopefully nothing bad happens to you. But I am just pleading with all fellow Ambazonians that please let us rally behind the interim government and get to Buea quicker. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And that is the point. That is the point. We think that at this moment, ladies and gentlemen, this interim government remains the legitimate leader of this struggle. And if I am here trying to fraternize with other comrades like Manga, I don't even know what I can call her a comrade, because again, she's a funny character, but she is still an Ambazonian. But we want to say it is coming out clearly. This interim government remains the leader of the struggle. And it is high time. It is high time you leave these little mushroom groups that fight the interim government instead of fighting the Republic of Cameroon, and join the team that is actually carrying out the fight on ground zero. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the phone lines are open, and I can see phone calls coming in. We have just very little time here left. I will take a few calls, and we'll call it a day. Hello, sir. Hello. Okay, this is a bad connection here. Let's see who is next. Hello. Hello, sir.
Yes, I want to thank you people for the powerful outing today. And I just have something to say about the lockdown issue. Kwanga said that he was working together with his own sister forces. We know that they have a memorandum of understanding with the Ayuktabe and the rest, and they have been fighting against lockdown and ghost town before. So it is not the first time. and the message that Ayaba came out and put, that was already after the lockdown has taken place. And all the meetings that Kwanga has been organizing in Ghana, it is an attempt to woo the interim government and other leaders so that they attach a plan that they promised to capture them and go. Remember, before they arrested Ayuk Tabe in Nigeria, Kwanga put out a statement that something is going to happen, that Ayuk is going to lack way to hide his face. So all those things, they're working together with coalition for dialogue and negotiations. And the goal for them now is to make sure that the crumble lockdown goes down, school resumption, before they go ahead to negotiate. That is just my own point. Thank you.
All right.
No,
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Well, I guess his character only gets on being revealed, and we are knowing him more and more. And I would really appeal to every Ambazonian, including the leaders of ARC. This guy should have nothing to do with a settlement with La République du Cameroon. He's an insider on their side. All right, let me get to the next caller.
William.
Hello, sir.
Hello?
Hello, sir. Where are you calling from?
From Ground Zero.
Ground Zero.
William.
What county, sir?
Babinda County.
Okay, Mezam County. Thank you for calling, sir. What is your what's your contribution?
Yes, I just wanted to say something concerning Akwanga. You know, Akwanga, all the attitude on what he has just done on this issue of Oyster. You know very well that after the 1968 March attack, Akwanga was arrested and imprisoned in the Republic of Cameroon. When he sneaked himself out of that particular place, when he was life in jail, or wherever he is, he's still a prisoner. And you must know very well that he should be doing all these things, arrangement in order to free himself from that prison term. He escaped from it, from the Republic of Cameroon. So, you people just have to be very careful with him. You know, the two of them with Ayabacho, those are two fellows who gave a lot of headache to the SCNC, then SCNC leaders during the days of the powerful SCNC. The two of them, they behave as drivers, and they give a lot of problems, headache to the whole cause. But Max Group people just know very well that he, Akwanga, is still a prisoner of La République du Cameroon. And he knows very well that the least error and they pick him, he will be in terrible trouble. So he's doing all in order to free himself, and you people, the IG has to be very careful with him. These two fellows, Ayabacho and Akwanga, they have been a big headache to the then SCNC struggle. They
All
are
right.
not honest to themselves, and they are not honest to people. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call, sir. Have a good night. Okay, let's get to the next caller here. Ground Zero. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Good evening. Good evening, sir. There is some. I can hear some shooting there in your background. Where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, I'm calling from Gokutuja County.
And is that gunshot I'm hearing?
No, they are not gunshots.
Okay, so what's your contribution?
Yeah, let me first of all talk about Mangan's case. I think Barrister Fru Johnson is very, very correct. He's very, very correct. Now, I'm talking about Akwanga. Akwanga is an enemy in the house. I think you didn't have to wait for the reaction of Southern Cameroonians to flush him out of the Team Ambazonia. Talking about Ayabacho, I think Ayabacho is an opportunist because it's when he has noticed that his deal with Akwanga is not working. That's after Monday they go down to work that he came out now with a statement. So I think he has a choice. There's nothing we have to take from him. It remains what he had thought about him. So he is also an enabler.
All right.
Does not change our position.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your opinion. So you have a great night. All right. Let's see who next is here on the line. Ground Zero. Hello. I think that caller dropped the call. Okay, let's see who else is here. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Dr. Chris.
Good evening, sir. I am not a doctor. I'm just Chris.
No, you will soon move to a doctor, even a PhD, my brother. You're wonderful.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. What is your contribution? Hello.
My contribution, please, when.
It's a network problem there. It's a network problem. Let's get to the next caller. All right. Hello.
Hello, Secretary.
Hello, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Europe, from Sweden.
From Sweden. Okay. And what is your contribution?
Yeah, I just want to say I have just some four bullet points to make here. One is about schools. You remember when Ambazonian placed a ban on schools and boycott? Akwanga came out and celebrated with the child that is being graduated from the school. That already gave La Republique a propaganda. The Republic spread on the newspapers how leaders are in Europe, they are forcing kids not to go down, not to go to school on ground zero, while their children are here studying and stuff like that. It got the whole social media on commotion. People were not happy everywhere. And then number 2 point I want to make is the ceasefire he came out of with. All of these things is like it's precedented. It's like something that he's doing, that the enemy is telling him do like this, and when you do like this is what we expect you of, or we expect to get from you, so that we can be able to crumble this particular struggle. And then the third point is the ghost town. He came out yesterday. He called for ghost towns to end, and from all indications, everybody. Some of us, so many of us, and so even in our private group, we have been talking about this guy. We are very worried about him. He behaves unstably. Even the way he speaks, he doesn't speak like somebody who is normal. So I don't know how. I just want to ask one question, Secretary Chris. If this thing was an Islamic movement, do you think there will be any? Because in Islamism or in the Quran or their sacred listing, do you think that they have any word in their dictionary like blackleg? Because if you are caught, it's a whole lot of secrecy. If you are caught mingling with the enemy, because this our struggle has been slowed down with a lot of blacklegism. There are people who are inside the interim government who work with the Republic, and when they are caught, we always have this mind, this good mind of saying, no, it's Amazonia, no, it's one of us, we cannot do such a thing especially because of that. And it has caused a lot of fighters dying. It has caused a lot of leaders who have backslide and stuff like that. So I just want to ask, is it that we cannot really react, especially to this EFAN issue? Is it that we cannot put a stop to this thing and end it once and for all? I just want to ask the Secretary, please. Thank you guys, and good evening to you all. Bye.
Well, thank you, thank you for the question. I guess answers have been provided already by the panelists. Barrister Ansor mentioned the people who are collaborating in the interim government for what is happening in Mogamo, and Prof. Ayim said the house is being put in order. So let's be a little patient and see what happens there, please. Thank you. Let's get to the next caller here. Hello. Hello.
Secretary, please.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from the Mezan County.
And what is the contribution, sir?
Yeah, I really have a package, but unfortunately, I think we don't have much time. I wanted to talk mostly about Guzang, what is going on in Guzang. What I perceive is that Cho Ayaba and La Republique and some other people in the interim government, I will first of all thank Barrister John Fuso for said something that I had in mind about the interim government having links with people, fugitives, with people who are doing bad things in Guzang. Let me tell you, there are plans for the enemy to get rid of the whole Momo as their strong base, so as to, in fact, trouble us, the entire Amazonian people. We are delaying. Every day we talk the same thing, we say the same thing, we don't take actions. If we can change the administration there, that is better. If we can call in the entire Amazonian forces to contribute forces and send there, we bring an end to this before it is late. That will be very fine. But if we keep on talking every day, I'm caught by surprise to have seen Guzang today dry. They said people have packed out of the area and they are searching refuge to the La Republique soldiers. This to me is a taboo. We should not allow this to happen. We should immediately intervene and call some other forces elsewhere to come in and intervene for us and seize that very community, that very county from the fugitives who are hanging there, who are the Ayaba and his remnants. So please, that was another point. The other point is this. There is something wrong that people don't really understand about Britain and France. They know La République du Cameroon sound like Okrika for them. They get things very easy from them, more than any other African state. And they know that most of these things come from our territories. So if they just allow us go, being too intelligent, being so wise, they will not be getting these things. So their purpose of dribbling us and doing what they are doing is simply because they want us to remain in La République du Cameroon, where they will easily be manipulating the government in Yaoundé to extort our resources. So that is just how you people should comprehend that. That is not something to really ignore it. That is just what is on the ground. So you people should be very conscious and understand that.
All right. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution. As far as Mogamo is concerned, I want to believe that the leaders, they hear you and they will follow the advice that is coming from here, both from you and Barrister John.
Yes, Secretary Chris, there was something I wanted to add.
Quickly, please.
You are talking about Ebenezer Akwanka. Let me tell you, he's a hungry man as Barrister Fuso is really understanding these things just the way. I'm a senior fellow as him. He's understanding these things very, very well. He cares very less whether he goes, he takes a decision and he fails, but provided he has his money. So it's not more for the struggle. If you find them doing all those things, it's because they're stuck. They don't know where to go. They are poor. They don't have regular jobs, as our barrister said. It is very definite because a reasonable man would understand that, except the interim government is going to give that declaration that the gold stand should end, and it ends. But that there is no means any other person through pamphlet or through what you said were printed in Ghana and sent to Cameroon. Who were those sharing? And how can that happen? We are already wise on the ground. These are things like the Cameroon is doing just to blindfold, to waste time and so on. And in addition to this again, they are creating commissions and commissions and commissions to extort money, not to do the right thing. Because when you see all these commissions from the word go to today, they are still doing the same thing. They are not doing that. They are deceiving the government in Yaoundé to extort their money and eat and stay them. They are not doing anything in favor of what is really on the ground. And they are whining time. So you people should really put that in mind. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you for the call. Good night, sir. Okay, let's see. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris.
Hello.
Greetings to you and all the panelists.
Thank you, sir. May I know where you are calling from, please?
I'm calling from Minnesota.
All right, and what is the contribution?
Yeah, my contribution is that when we say that the interim government led by Dr. Samuel Sako is the one controlling the ground, controlling everything, as we all know. I am proposing that the ACT team that has been infiltrated so much by people like Kwanga, like people who don't speak the same language with the interim government, that ACT team should be dissolved. And the interim government giving the mandate to bring up another team, because the ACT team is infiltrated. Yeah, because once they will go there now, I think Barrister Fru was saying they will go there to discuss. Some people in the ACT team will be against certain decisions. So the interim government should take the power into his hands and dissolve the ACT team. That's my proposal. Thank you.
Okay. I don't know whether anybody here in the panel want to make a comment there, but I am in the ACT team, so I really don't want to sit here and talk. I have to take it in there. But the caller, you can rest assured that we are going to do our best there to see that the house is sanitized. Barrister John.
Yes, Chris. First of all, the caller is right. The ACT team has been infiltrated. There are people there that make statements that I begin to wonder where they are. I am not going to call names, but I think that there is a lot of purging that has to be done. I'm not proposing the disbanding of the ACT team, though, but I'm saying that they should be purged, because we are fighting the war of our life. We want to establish our country, and we cannot afford to have a team that is supposed to be piloting that negotiating process infiltrated, either consciously or unconsciously. And I want that, I'm proposing that it should be purged somehow, because there are people in there that don't speak the same language like the interim government. And I am so frightened. What if they are sitting in the council when the negotiation starts, and the negotiators come with something, they will create a lot of commotion. Let's be very careful. Let's be very, very careful. That is my take, Chris. Your microphone.
Akwanga, yes. We have a coalition when it comes to the negotiations, and they will expect the IG to have another, and maybe another little group with another.
No.
And then you will hear from those mediators, oh, they are so divided. Really cannot go on. So I just want to assure every one of you out there, every Ambazonian out there, if it doesn't fit the shoes or the gloves, like in O.J. Simpson case, if it doesn't fit the gloves of the IG, forget about it.
Okay. You got my message, Chris.
Yes. All right. Let's get to the next caller here, please. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Please hold on. Give me a moment here. Okay. Hello.
Hello, Secretary Chris. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. I would first of all like to begin by appreciating the panelists. You guys have had a very educative show this evening. The first issue I'd like to talk about is the issue of Ebenezer Akwanga. I think we have gotten to the stage in this struggle in which decision has to be by collective, it has to be consultative, like all the leaders need to come together. I think that was the main reason why the ACT platform was created. But if we have people like Ebenezer Akwanga, every time they come online, I've been following up for a very long time, and each time he comes online, I go to listen to him. If he's saying something against the enemy, no. He spends time talking against the IG. You guys do not know anything. Then I begin asking questions. Are we really sure this guy escaped from the prison? There is a conspiracy theory out there which says this guy must have been injected with something, and they let the doors open for him to flee, and for him to feel like he ran out. I don't think he really ran out. They left him on purpose. And all what he's doing, because it's not normal. These are people who are leading a revolution. Look at the point in which we are. Somebody says, oh, we do not want gold stance at this time. This brings me to the question of the Team Act. There are other people like Abdul Karim who are members of Team Act. For most people who do not know, negotiations in a conflict is a very complex process. If you have read through the statements that have come from US Congress, they say there is the need for broad-based consultations. It will not be only be amongst Ambazonian leaders. There are people on the ground, they need to be consulted. And that is why you see groups today like Southwest, Northwest Women, you see One Cameroon Women. Those are all people who have been paid by the regime to influence the process. Because if America really wants to engage in a negotiation process, they want to get the opinion of everybody. They will say, okay, Southwest, Northwest Women. You saw those women were called right at the UN Security Council to come and testify. Those are people who are being sponsored by the regime. And that is why you guys have to be very cautious with this Team Act, because if you have individuals who do not have groups, but they are members of Team Act, they are likely to influence every decision-making process. We have to be very careful. Our people have suffered for a very long time, and we cannot, by the greed of some certain people, we get trapped at this moment in which I think this is the opportunity we have to fight and get out of this thing. So people like Ebenezer Akwanga, like some people have said, should be kicked out of Team Act. If there will be any negotiations in the Southern Cameroons, you'll be brought in by force. Have people like Ayabacho who said, no, he's not coming to the Swiss-led negotiations. Look at the actions that was taken by the State Department 2 days ago. When that negotiation will come, whether Ayabacho likes it or not, he will be brought to the table by force. We are talking today about visa restrictions. Are you sure Ayaba can ever step his feet into America again? He cannot, because he's one of those who have discredited the process. And America and the major world powers are still seated on the table. And one thing I'm very happy is the fact that the interim government remains committed to the Swiss process. And I encourage everybody to remain committed, but be very cautious with all those you have brought in. People like Ayoktabe Ayaba, on the last day they will be brought. If it means by force, we are not going to use force on them, but the international community will bring them by force, because if America tells Norway to bring him on the table, you'll be brought by force. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Let me respond to that, Chris.
Thank you.
Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that.
All right. Thank you for that point. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I can't take any other calls. I think we have essentially come to the end of this. Barrister John and Bishop John. Let me give Bishop John at least an opportunity for the last word. 50 seconds, sir.
Thank you very much, Secretary Chris. I want to thank all the Ambazonian Restoration Forces who are putting every effort to make sure we get to Boya. I really applaud your effort and the sacrifices that you are making on the ground. I just want to encourage you that you should not get tired. All what we are saying here, without you doing what you are doing, all what we are saying here is useless. You see all this talk about negotiation coming to the table, you are the one that is going to make by increasing the firepower on ground zero. So I caution you, please, Ambazonian Restoration Fighters, stay in contact with your local government, listen to your chain of command, and follow instruction. When you follow instruction, God's grace is going to be on you. But when you take matters into your hands, the God's grace is not going to be on you. So you are serving your country, you are not serving yourself, you are our heroes. Heroes do not live for themselves, heroes live for others. But I want to assure you, this interim government, the Department of Self-Defense and Security, is doing everything possible to make sure it is going to enter into the books that everyone who's saved in the Ambazonian Restoration Forces, whether you are alive or whether you are not, your family will benefit, you will benefit when that day comes. When independence comes, you will be the first to be recognized and to be hailed in Ambazonia, because what you are doing, we cannot pay you for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bishop John. Barrister John, please.
Yes, I want to answer that caller very quickly. That nobody will force anybody in the negotiating team of Ambazonia. Nobody, not even the international community. If they try to do that, that is the end of that negotiation. I want to thank you, Chris, and thank the Ambazonian people for giving us an opportunity to air our views on the struggle. And I want to join my good friend Bishop John for an eloquent last word to our restoration forces. And I say that without them, we are nothing. I thank them for what they are doing. The young people have changed the course of this revolution. Anybody who claims that he has been here for 30 years, it doesn't make sense, because you can be 30 years of doing nothing. But this generation has put its life on the line for all of us, and we must respect them, and we must give them all the tools they need to prosecute this war to the logical end. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, Barrister John and Bishop John. Prof. Ayim left a while ago,
Early.
and I want to believe we'll have you back here again. You have great night, sirs. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I would say that is all that I have for you today. Please, I have a very, very special presentation to bring to you in the course of the week. I don't know when yet, maybe Wednesday, maybe Friday, but it is going to be quite an informative and educative presentation. It is not going to be one of these kind of broadcasts. It's just going to be a presentation. So that will come up again either Wednesday or Friday. You will have the information. I want to thank you for tuning in, joining us live. For those of you on Ground Zero, please continue to stand until we get to Boya. All of the diaspora, Ground Zero is looking forward to your draft so that they can keep the war going. And I want to assure you, we will get there, we will arrive there victoriously. Good night, and may God bless all of you out there.
You need a financial instrument that provides a hedge against inflation, 100% guarantees that you will not lose your money, has tax-free growth and distribution, the ability to take an interest-free loan, avoids probate, provides creditor protection, guarantees your family that your income will be replaced should you die, helps you protect yourself financially against chronic, critical, and terminal illness, and of course allows you to take money anytime for any reason at any age without a tax penalty. You need only as little as $50 to invest per month. Contact Irene Fombo. Tell 513-5014-177 or send an email to irenenpmsn@gmail.com.
Has your bank turned you down for a business loan? Even if you have low, bad, or no credit, our network of lenders are willing to grant you a business loan. It is guaranteed. Money to start a new business, increase your business capital, or refinance a current business. Funding Capital Grid is your answer. We've got you when your bank rejects you. We will offer you from $10,000 to $100 million in secured and unsecured loans. We will clean your credit within the shortest possible time. We also finance all property types: multifamily, office, retail, owner-occupied, self-storage, hotels, industrial, and medical. We will also finance equipment like tow trucks, office furniture, dump trucks, cargo trucks, and Caterpillars. Contact us now at office 800-966-1193, mobile 443-760-5059, fax 202-521-3000. 3950. Email info@fundingcapitalgrid.com. Web www.fundingcapitalgrid.com.
Start a new career as a Linux system administrator with an average salary of $80,000 to $120,000 a year. Dynamic Tech Academy has transformed many lives for the better through our 6-month Linux program. We are so excited to announce that we are adding DevOps course and Red Hat certification at no charge, which will make students more competitive. Over 80% of our students have no prior IT background, yet vast majority of alumni land jobs in 3 to 6 months after they start applying. Our ultimate goal is to reach 100% student employment, so we work with every student until he or she gets a job. Upon successful completion of the course, we will provide resume building, interview preparation, and job placement assistance. With the Linux course, you get more than 300 hours of in-depth training, and you get to learn from experienced instructors. By the end of the program, our students can be Red Hat certified if they choose. Our alumni work in companies, both government and private companies in the USA, Canada, and even Europe. Want to learn more about the program? You can contact us at info@dynamicdmv.com, or you can call us at 240-604-9505, or you can call us at 240-423-7865. And you can also visit us at www.dynamictechdmv.com. If you are interested in online classes, please register on our website. That's once again www.dynamictechdmv.com.